The village was nestled deep in the fog-drenched mountains of Laos, where the Hmong people lived in close-knit communities, steeped in tradition. At the edge of the village, there was a small house, home to a girl named Mai and her loyal dog Tao. Mai was a quiet, thoughtful child, no older than 10, with long dark hair and curious brown eyes. She often spent her days wandering through the misty forests, with Tao by her side. Her grandmother had warned her about the spirits that lurked in the woods, spirits that would steal the souls of those who wandered too far. But Mai, like most children, was more fascinated than afraid. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie glow over the mountains, Mai and Tao ventured deeper into the forest than usual. The air was thick with silence, save for the occasional rustling of leaves. Tao's ears twitched, and he growled low in his throat, his hackles rising. "What's wrong, Tao?" Mai whispered, her voice barely audible. Tao stood still, his eyes fixed on a shadow that flickered between the trees. Mai followed his gaze, and her heart skipped a beat. There, just beyond the clearing, stood a figure, a tall, gaunt woman draped in tattered white cloth, her long hair hanging in wet, stringy clumps over her face. Her fingers, unnaturally long and twisted, beckoned Mai closer. Mai's breath caught in her throat as the woman's lips curled into a smile, revealing teeth too sharp to be human. The legends her grandmother had told her flashed through her mind. The Dab Sog, the nightmare spirit that preyed on the lost and vulnerable. Tao barked furiously, pulling at Mai's dress with his teeth, trying to drag her away. But something, some unseen force, kept her feet planted in place. The woman's hollow eyes gleamed, and she whispered words Mai couldn't understand, her voice like the wind through dead trees. The shadows seemed to grow, creeping closer with every breath. Tao barked louder, his body trembling, yet he did not flee. The woman took a step forward, her feet hovering just above the ground, her smile widening impossibly. "Come," she crooned, her voice slithering into Mai's ears. "I can take you to where the lost are found." A chill ran down Mai's spine. She felt as if she were sinking, her surroundings warping and distorting, the forest closing in on her. She knew she had to run, but her legs wouldn't move. Tao lunged, biting at the hem of the woman's tattered cloth. She hissed, her eyes narrowing in fury. With a flick of her hand, Tao was thrown back, yelping as he hit the ground. But instead of staying down, he staggered to his feet and barked again, more ferociously than ever. In that moment, Mai felt the spell break. She stumbled backward, her feet finally obeying her. Tao barked once more, and together they turned and ran, the trees blurring as they raced back toward the village. Behind them, the woman's wail echoed through the forest, a sound that would haunt Mai's dreams for years to come. When they finally reached the safety of their home, Mai collapsed on the floor, clutching Tao tightly. Her grandmother rushed to her side, eyes wide with understanding. She knew the stories were more than just tales to frighten children. "You were lucky," her grandmother whispered, stroking Mai's hair. "The Dab Sog is drawn to the lonely, the wandering souls. But Tao protected you." Mai glanced at Tao, his eyes gleaming with quiet wisdom. She knew then that her dog was no ordinary companion. There was a strength in him, a spirit that even the darkest creatures feared. From that day on, Mai never wandered too far into the woods. But sometimes, at night, she would hear the distant howl of Tao, as if warning the spirits that guarded the shadows, "This one is not yours to take."